Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this, my second channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to this, my second channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate live. If you're watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, then be sure to subscribe to Nathan Oakley to keep up to date with the live debate. Now we are joined by Alan and Sleeping Warrior, also Chocolate Saying. Good to have you all.
Yo.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You there, Alan?
I'm there, yes.
Good to have you. Good to have you all. Any signs of curvature, gentlemen?
Hang on, forget that. Have you fixed your phone yet, Alan?
No.
Oh. No signs of curve yet, Alan. Nathan, have you seen any curvature, Alan?
I've not seen anything. I've got my head down.
Oh.
Very wise. Any signs of axial rotation?
Chocolate, have you found any axial?
Absolutely not.
Nah. Star trails don't prove axial rotation, despite what people say. Telling lies. It's only half the proof. You need another bit of evidence, and it doesn't exist, does it?
Hello.
Hey, Arwin. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No.
Nah, I've not found any evidence of gravity either, Nathan, unfortunately. Everybody believes it, but when you actually look for it, you realise that that's missing evidence as well.
About the distance to the sun?
There is no distance to the sun.
Yeah, I agree with Arwin. It seems to be some kind of holographic manifestation, metaphysical perhaps. Doesn't seem to be a ball of fluffy white gaseous hydrogen helium nonsense.
Yep.
What about evidence that you can have a gas pressure without a container for all those people who believe in the vacuum of outer space?
No.
No. You can't model it. You can't properly physically theorize it. Doesn't work. Can't work. It's a myth. It's a scientism myth. A fantasy.
And there is no universal up or down either, just for anyone that wonders.
That's not the housekeeping question.
I know it's not. I just thought I'd clear that one up for anybody that thinks there might be a universal up or down.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No.
Last but not least, any evidence of the R value? Earth radius, gentlemen.
No.
But the funny thing about it,
Nope.
if it's a presupposition, then you can't really have evidence for it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a presupposition.
Correct.
Exactly.
So there can never be any evidence for a presupposition, because if there were, then it would no longer be a presupposition.
Yeah, but the problem is they would argue that that's the proof that it must be existing, because it's not a presupposition. It's proof because we wouldn't have a presupposition if it didn't.
Yeah, but they actually have to prove it first.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the same way proof of rotation is that we're not rotating, or we don't feel it.
It's like it's a burden of proof, reversal.
The list of fallacies in this regard go on and on and on, begging the question, affirming the consequent, burden of proof reversal, you name it.
Yeah, I agree.
I might commit this to air now. I haven't said this before because I've just run out of time and my recent community guidelines strike has left me with even less, I'll be honest. But in spite of that, about a month ago now, Jaron asked me to go on his show and talk about logical fallacies and flat earth debate. I did ask Anthony, although recently Anthony announced that he might be taking a hiatus for various different reasons. So I'm going to drop John Quantum Eraser a line. Hopefully, between the three of us, there'll be at least a couple of us on that show when I arrange it with Jaren. The problem I've been having is finding the time to actually go back through the debates to find some logical fallacies to use as examples, because he wants maybe half a dozen clips of actual fallacies in operation being picked apart, so we can play them on the show and then pick them apart afterwards verbally on an extended show. But it's just finding the time to do it. But I think now if I actually announce it or say that it's going to happen at some stage, it'll put me in a position where I've got even more pressure on me to actually get it done, because every single time I come to do it, something comes up. But there we go, I will get it done, and I do desperately want to go on Jaren's show. I hate to say this, if he's watching this, I'm really sorry to say this, Jaren, but I want the publicity. You know, he's a big YouTuber, why wouldn't I? Obviously I like Jaren as well, he's an excellent flat earth proponent, but you know, he's a massive YouTube channel in this little corner of the internet that we have. So obviously I'd want to go on and talk about what we're doing here, because it promotes the show and promotes what we're doing. So hopefully that will happen in the not too distant future, once I can actually get my act together and sort out some examples of logical fallacy to present on that show when it happens. So big shout out to Jaren. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to Jarenism, go and subscribe. I'm pretty sure everyone who's subscribed to this channel would be already, but if you're not, go and subscribe to Jarenism.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for some correspondence back from something that I'm hoping gives me something to chew on. Not going to be just yet, though. I think it might be, but I don't think it will be yet. But it's all getting interesting. Things are happening now, and it's like, let's see how this moves forward. Because I was on with Robin last night. Did you see Nathan lifting the lid?
Say that again.
I was on with Robin lifting the lid last night, and Roxanne Glenn, the globalist denier.
Oh, okay, I saw that she did a little advert, which I saw, and then I didn't actually see the show, and I went through my list a couple of times, and I couldn't see it, so I would have watched it.
Yeah, it was really good. We recorded it a week ago, and obviously things have changed a little bit since then. I mean, they're still fundamentally the same. It's just it's progressed a little bit, but it was just a nice show, and it's just nice to see Robin's channel growing. So lifting the lid. If you've not come across his channel, go to lifting the lid, because Robin's he's an interesting guy. He's very meek, very mild, polite.
Hey, is that Plain Truth?
Hello. What?
Good to have you.
Yo, Travis.
Yeah.
Found any curvature, Travis?
None whatsoever.
No.
Nope. I've got a new video coming up where I'm shooting video over the Chesapeake Bay and nary a curve to be found.
Cool. Sounding a bit quiet. Are you on the road?
Just turned him up.
No, I'm just sitting in my flat.
So, what do you know, Travis?
Do I know what?
What do you know?
What do I know? I know that the Earth is stationary.
Yeah, we are not moving. We are not orbiting. We are not rotating.
I know that they're spraying the shit out of the sky.
Yeah, they do seem to be doing that. I don't think anybody can deny that anymore. We can't ridicule it anymore. The question is why? What are they doing?
I mean, just for myself, last night I was watching the sunset, and you know the difference between the sun through natural clouds and the sun through chemical clouds. It is not the same visual phenomenon. It is just not.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really know what's going on. What do you think of chemtrails, Alan? Do you think there's something in it, or do you think what's going on?
I don't think there's anything in it. I think they do some modification, but I know so little about it, I don't feel that I could comment. I think there'd be better ways of distributing things than making them highly visible in the air.
There's no...
That just depends on
Hey,
what
P.
you want to accomplish.
Hold on, Travis. Hey, P.
Hey, Nathan, did you make Paula your bitch last night?
No.
Well, that killed that.
Hey, Nathan,
Yes.
I like that new thumbnail.
Oh yeah,
That,
forgot about that. Shout out to Hyena. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, Arwin,
Yeah.
what was I going to ask you? I wanted to ask you something. Oh, have you heard from Nora in the last 24?
Sort of.
Is she still pushing this perception of gravity? Do you know? This not gravity. I know she expressly states it's not gravity, but
I don't really
changed
care.
position at all?
She just told me that she doesn't want to.
Say that again.
She was gonna block me. And I was like,
Oh yeah, she blocked me as well.
So I don't care.
She didn't block me.
Good for you.
Well, you gave her the platform for her to talk her nonsense, though.
So, Alan, you commented on my video released yesterday saying, what the hell does this even mean? So, you've got a few minutes for me to talk you through it?
Yeah, talk me through it, Nathan.
Excellent, excellent. So, if you imagine, for example, that instead of people here, this was a depiction of a, let's think, a mountain. Can you visualise that?
I can.
So, this would be a small mountain. Yeah? And behind it, we've got a big mountain. Now, these would be referencing adults, and this would be referencing children. And if you take the feet and inches measurement of the children, it's actually smaller than the feet and inches of the adults. You recognise this depiction. It's often used by globers to represent what we should see, according to them, on a flat plane.
Yes, I recognise the side view.
Excellent. Now, the side view is often used to assert that the thing behind would appear larger. Correct? Because it is larger. Isn't it, Alan? It's a bigger feet and inches value for this than for this. Agreed?
Agreed.
Right. So, according to this diagram, this is bigger than this. Now, this is how globe heads misrepresent a flat plane and ignore perspective. Because here we've got soundly an adult, bigger, as depicted in side elevation. The problem being that he's actually smaller. So here we have conspiracy flaps, representing the child. Obviously, we wouldn't want to use someone else's imagery. And he's bigger than soundly, even though the representation that's shown in side view would suggest that he'd be bigger. So can you see, given I've explained it now, how this is a misrepresentation of perspective?
Not really.
I'll say it again then, because you're slow. According to this, the people behind are bigger, and in actuality, their size is larger. Their feet and inches value is bigger than the feet and inches value of the thing in the foreground. So according to this depiction, this is smaller than this. That's how globe heads represent the flat plane. However, when you actually put that into a perspective view, you can see that the thing that's further away is actually smaller because of perspective, making this representation very inaccurate, and a way that we would assert globe heads misrepresent the actual picture that we analyse. That would be this view, with Soundly's giant head getting ever smaller because he's further away. So a bit like Dougal, Father Ted. This cow is small, that cow is far away. This mountain is small, that mountain is far away. even though the orthographic misrepresentation given to us by globeheads would suggest contrary to that. Do you understand now? Hello?
Hello?
He's going to say he stepped away and he didn't hear what you said.
No, I'm just slightly distracted. I'm okay.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's not paying attention, Nathan.
So did you understand the second time I explained it?
Yeah.
Or is this going to be another, I need to explain it 6 times and then kick you out?
No, you can do what you want. You usually
So
do.
do you understand now how globeheads misrepresent... Hello, Daniel. The flat plane.
Hey, Nathan, how are you?
Hey, Daniel.
Hey, how's it going?
Clearly, we're not going to get a concession from Alan. I'll
No,
just
he's
state it as
zoned out.
I'll make it a
He's like
statement
another
rather than a
iPhone
question.
battery or something.
That is how globeheads misrepresent the reality we do not live in an orthographic representation, claiming that things on the right-hand side of the page that have a bigger feet and inches value should appear bigger, when in reality they're further away, therefore have the effects of perspective applicable.
If you were more secure in your beliefs, you wouldn't have to force
Belief in
people
what?
to
Sorry, what am I believing in now?
agree with you.
Sorry, what is it I'm believing in now?
Like, I think it's a sign of a lack of
Yep.
faith that you have to force everyone to agree with you and believe the same things you believe.
I think we did this last time on the exact same picture. Machold Lighthouse. End of explanation for me as a flat earther. Earth is clearly flat. There's a lighthouse. It is there. I do see it. Now, maybe you'd like to try and quantify this picture as a globe head who thinks it's not there, that it's a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena hologram of the lighthouse that's actually popping its head above Earth curve because of refractive effects that comply to a radius, you will assume, with a 7/6 value attached to it. So go ahead, P. You tell me how me saying Machold Lighthouse, the Earth is obviously and observably flat, compares to your slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena fantasy of a globe. I have no faith in the fact that that is Machold Lighthouse. I can state it. It's a concrete noun. I do see it. It is there. That is all I need do. You, on the other hand, have a very problem with that picture. Not me. You. You need to start expressing your faith in R to qualify what you do actually see in this picture, because you shouldn't see it if you have faith in a globe. We've gone over this before, P. No faith being asserted when I say Machold Lighthouse. None. Flat earthers can do that.
Well, I asked R to give your main channel a strike, and then the next day your main channel got a strike, so I'm pretty sure R came through on that one for me.
Good for you. In R you trust. The all-powerful R must have been the one that gave me a strike. Maybe you could formulate that into a logical fallacy, just to prove it to the audience and the rest of the dumb people like yourself.
I mean, do you think it's a coincidence? I prayed to R the night before.
Right, we're off topic
strike
immediately.
Nathan down.
You claimed I had a belief, Pete.
Next day, you got a strike.
Yeah, this is off topic. You claimed, you asked a question, does it make your belief stronger? So I immediately, while you were saying it, this was on screen. Something that I have no belief or faith in. There it is, Machold Lighthouse. End of explanation for me as a flat earther. Explanation from Globehead. 3 months of debate. So, no reply to that then. I don't have a faith in this shit. You do, P. That's my point. Clearly, we must move on to other things quickly.
I have a justified belief, and you have a fucking scam that
No
you're pulling on
need
your
to swear.
audience.
Don't get triggered, P. That would be your loss, my win. No need to get triggered. Just be humble.
Who's getting triggered?
Yeah, you are. You claimed I had a belief. In fact, I don't. You do.
What? Everyone has a belief.
No, I don't. Machold Lighthouse. Do you want to explain where my belief lies in that statement?
Oh.
Total fail. No belief. It is Machold Lighthouse. I see it. There it is.
You're believing in the reliability of sense experience in terms of induction.
Really? Well, it's been confirmed by 2 different cameras, by 2 different people on 2 different separate locations and days and times and atmospheric conditions. I'm pretty sure I can trust what I see. You, on the other hand, need to assert on all of those other occasions where this exact image has been replicated, it's all slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena holograms because of an R calculator that tells you it's not really there. So, I don't have a belief. Mackled Lighthouse, end of explanation for me as a flat earther. Obviously and observably flat, no belief required. You have a belief, because according to you, and you're begging the question, proof of nothing perspective hijacking curve calculator that relies on a presupposition of an R value, it's not really there and needs some explaining. It suddenly becomes a phenomena. It suddenly becomes a hologram. Yet you've got a belief, not me.
We both have beliefs.
Mackled Lighthouse, how many times do you want to do this? You tell me where my belief lies.
You can't get away from having a belief.
Sorry, I don't believe it. It's a fact. You're denying my fact? 2 words. Mackled Lighthouse. No belief required to make that statement of fact.
No, it's a belief. It's a belief. You believe it's flat.
Sorry, that is Mackled Lighthouse.
Flat.
Confirmed by about 3 dozen different people over the course of about 3 months. I'm absolutely, unequivocally certain of my statement of fact, Alan. Mackled Lighthouse. End of explanation for me.
Then you have a belief.
No. It's a picture. Are you pulling my chain? It's not a belief, it's a picture. A very, very well-studied picture of Mackled Lighthouse. Fact. That's what it is.
You have a belief.
Where's my belief? Explain my belief. Don't just state it. Explain it. Where's the belief?
You believe the world is flat because of Mackled Lighthouse.
No, I didn't say that. I said the Earth is obviously and observably flat because I can see Mackled Lighthouse. That's the end of my explanation. No further explanation is required because, fact, I do see it. It is there. I don't need any further explanation. It's a concrete noun. So, no belief required. None.
If no further explanation is required, why'd you make a whole video about explaining perspective and all that? I thought you said no explanation is required.
There isn't.
Why'd you make a video about perspective?
That's about a different
observation. I feel like you're contradicting yourself here, Nathan.
Sorry, that's about a different observation, though, isn't it? That's a response to conspiracy clats, who seems to think that a mountain further away should remain the same feet and inches value. Its actual size stays the same. He's just a moron. And with a little moo cow joke sound effect referring to Father Ted explaining to Dougal that this cow, which is a toy, is small and that cow out the window is far away, and Dougal struggles to get that just like Conspiracy Cats fails to get that. And so did Alan when I put it up on a video. What does this even mean? It means you dicks use a side profile. That's what that was about. This, on the other hand, is a statement of fact when I say Mackled Lighthouse, and I need not explain a concrete noun in the same way I need not explain the mouse that I'm holding. I don't need to explain it, it's just a mouse. I don't need to explain it, it's just Mackled Lighthouse. But if you look at this picture, it suddenly becomes a phenomena, a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena. For you, the one with a globe belief. Not me, the one who just sees it, because it's obviously flat.
Well, don't you believe in perspective?
Yeah, it's very small, dipshit. It's 31 miles away. Hello, it's very small. Did that answer your question?
So, you have beliefs, then?
What, that it's got smaller with distance? No, again, that's self-evident. I can see the mountain and the lighthouse in the same frame.
So you don't
that's
think
blatantly
do you
obvious.
Think it's smaller
Dumbo.
with distance than
yeah, it's very small because it's far away, and I can see a mountain as well. Surprisingly, that at 31 miles, it's small.
So you have beliefs?
No, that's a fact.
No, Nathan.
Another statement of absolute fact. It is small because it's 31 miles away.
Fact and belief aren't mutually exclusive, though.
It is a fact. It is far away. This was taken at 31 miles. It is small because of perspective. That's a fact. If you want to deny that or tell me I've got a belief in it, then fine, you're a moron.
Nathan,
fact and belief aren't mutually exclusive, so that's not an argument. That it's
Nathan, knowledge and facts are subsets of belief.
Oh, really? That's really fascinating. Does that change that I don't have a belief that it's Mackled Lighthouse as a flat earther?
You have a belief system.
No, It is Mackled Lighthouse. I do see it, and the Earth is obviously and observably flat. According to you, it's not really there, even though we can bloody see it. And why isn't it really there when we can actually see it? Because of your belief in R. You believe something's obscuring our view of this lighthouse, because geometrically it is, even though we see it.
And you have a belief system.
No.
Alan, you sound like a robot.
I say, how many times have I got to say? It's a statement of fact. There's Mackled Lighthouse. Where's
And
the
knowledge
belief
and
in
facts are
statement
subsets of beliefs.
Yeah, just being pedantic, idiot. It is
No,
Mackled
no.
Lighthouse. That's fact. You don't have to like it, Globehead. You have got a belief in slightly looming non-standard refraction hyenas. That's a fact also. So there's no disputing what I state as fact. I see it and it is there. We've got a bloody photograph. You think it's not there if you've got a belief in a globe. That's facts. You don't have to like it. P. Mars, Alan, you don't have to like this. Tough luck if you don't. Argue all day that subsections of belief are blah, 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 bollocks. You've got a belief that it's not really there because it's obscured from Earth curve. Bollocks. It is there. I see it. That's my statement as fact as a flat earther, and I don't need to explain a concrete noun. You do.
Belief system.
Yeah, belief in Earth curve that's blocking it. That's what you've got, not me. I just see it and no further... How many times have I got to say this? I've said it about 10 times.
Okay, relax. And relax.
No, you've got a belief, Alan. You're trying to justify it.
My belief is no bigger than yours.
You believe an Earth curve is blocking this lighthouse, Alan.
And you believe it's flat.
No, I actually see the lighthouse. No belief. That's probably the 11th time I've said it. There's no belief when I state as fact that that is Mackled Lighthouse, and I do see it. That's not belief.
I can see how you get upset, Nathan. Fuck.
Yeah, so I'll say it again. You globehead religious zealots have a belief. You believe there's an Earth curve blocking our view of this lighthouse, even though we actually see it. That's a fact.
How come you can see why
a
anything
fact
is
about your belief. And every time I get to the end of that statement, you will tell me that I've got a belief when I state a fact. Mackled Lighthouse. End of explanation.
Everyone has a belief system. You can't really avoid having a belief system.
Yeah, I have a belief that if I have the right tools, I can fix something, stuff like that. But I don't believe space stories, fantasies of other planets out there.
Has Nathan just dropped?
So
I don't understand why they don't get that it's a belief system.
no one said you did believe in space. We're just saying that there's no getting away having a belief system. Everyone has a belief in something. It's impossible to not have any beliefs.
Yeah, you can believe in yourself and have confidence that you can go out and do things and have, the necessary stuff to deal with society and stuff like that. But that's not what we're talking about here.
That is, well, because Nathan's, it is though, because Nathan said that he doesn't have any beliefs, but that's not true.
I said I don't have to have a belief to state that I can see Mackled Lighthouse. I can state it as fact. We do see it. It is there. And every time I state that, someone starts talking over me. In this case, you, P.
You're coming through with a lot of delay, Nathan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, right.
You're having you, Alan.
But how can you guys say it's a belief system when you just you see things, you observe them, and you realize that there's no curve involved in it or anything like that?
Because knowledge and facts are a subset of beliefs.
No, Alan, it's not a belief. You're not believing anything.
Okay.
Seeing something.
Maybe I can explain it to you like this. We can see during the day the sky is blue.
I don't understand what you're going to say that's going to be different than what we've been talking about for the last
because
couple
here,
years.
let me explain it to you like this. During the day, we can all agree.
I don't understand how.
Okay, God.
You come on here every day. You just say we're believing in something that is just it's not like that.
Daniel, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that Nathan is seeing Mackled Lighthouse?
Do I believe he's seeing it?
Sorry, it's a picture. Yeah. It's a photograph. What are you talking about?
I don't understand, Alan. I've seen things that I know that represent a flat Earth. And I don't have to believe it. I just see it.
But this is the bottom
This
line.
is-
To
this
justify
is the-
their own belief, they've got to get us to deny the very existence of reality. So we see a photograph and we've got to question the reality. That's the point. You have got to question reality because you've got a globe belief and we don't. You want to force us to try and question what we see with our own eyes on a photograph because that's what you must do. We don't have to do that. You have to do that and you're trying to force us to do it. No, we don't need to justify seeing something in a picture. You do. That's the point.
Okay. Well, there's an idiom called "seeing is believing." So, I mean, just because you see something doesn't mean it's not.
That's my point. So you've just made my point for me. So you have to make us say, seeing isn't really believing. Because I've got belief in a globe and suddenly this actual picture of a lighthouse becomes a slightly illuminating non-standard refraction hyena, i.e. a phenomena that we need to science. That's what you must do. Must. I don't have to. No matter how much you tell me that seeing isn't really believing, you must do that because you've got a belief. I don't have to do that. So you keep making my point for me, P.
Hey, Mars.
We're letting go.
Okay,
How did he
believing,
warp that around to favor him? That makes no sense.
seeing is believing references an observed phenomena,
Yes.
not things that you imagine must be there.
Nathan, do you believe you're seeing Maghold Lighthouse? Yes or no?
I've been and seen it with my own eyes. And I've
Hang
got
on,
a
hang
picture
on.
of it.
He's playing semantics. He's playing
Yeah, I know
semantics.
he's playing
with the
semantics because he
definition.
must demand, I've said it 3 times, I'll say it again, they must question what they see. That's the point. That's their belief. They must question it. We don't have to, but they want to force us to question it. Even though we do see it. Oh, is it really a Maghold Lighthouse that you're seeing? Yeah, it is. End of explanation. It's a concrete noun. No explanation required for me as a flat earther. No matter how many times you tell me that I have to question what I see, I won't. It's there. It's a photograph. Lots of people have taken it on different days in different conditions. I am certain.
Alan,
There is a line of sight.
Tony, can I ask you a question?
Well, hang on. Let me flip that
I
question.
have no belief system. Is that a belief system?
Well, is it? How could you prove that it wasn't a belief and the concrete noun that we see, the lighthouse, is actually a manifestation? How could you prove that it wasn't real?
He makes the statement after that the world is obviously and observably flat.
Yes,
Therefore,
there's nothing in the
it creates-
way. You believe there's an obstruction blocking our view. How many times have I got to say this? Nothing's blocking our view. We can see it.
I already fucking have one.
Hello? We can see it. There's nothing obscuring the view. Your belief is the only thing obscuring your mentality from saying, yeah, I do see it. It's really there. That's the only thing stopping us from saying, yeah, we see it, is you, with your belief.
Yeah.
Do you think proof and belief are different?
Sorry,
Absolutely.
is it not proof? Do you dispute that it's Maghold Lighthouse? Is that not proof?
Do you believe you're seeing?
Excuse me,
Maghold
is it not proof with several photographs on several days? That's not proof, is it?
Hang on, Nathan. I think you should answer that question. Do you believe that you're seeing Maghold Lighthouse?
I am seeing it. It's a photograph.
The question is, no. The question is, do you believe that you're seeing it?
No, it's not a belief. It is actually
Right.
there.
Be phrased like that.
Tony, do you have to prove something to believe in it?
It don't need to prove anything. There's no necessity for us to prove it. It's a concrete noun. How many times? You must turn this into a phenomena. We don't have to. That's the point.
So, Tony, you answered you have to prove something to believe in it. But is it possible to believe in something that doesn't exist or not likely to be true?
That's an argument from ignorance fallacy. What kind of a dick are you? You're just descending this into nonsense. That's called an argument from ignorance fallacy. Nonsense again from Alan. Rather than just conceding that he must turn this into a phenomena, we as flat earthers don't have to, because it's a photo of a lighthouse. And that's the end of our explanation. We just see it.
So you don't believe you've seen the lighthouse?
I do see it. It's in a photo.
Do you believe it?
What do you mean? What's to believe?
Alan.
What's to believe? We're going round in circles. Last
Do
time.
we believe our eyes? Do we believe eyes in general? Eyes of a camera, eyes of our own? Do we believe them? Yeah. Yeah, we do. We believe
Alan, can I just ask?
things being displayed are there or used to be there when the photo was made because they were there.
So
That's
you
what
believe
we
it, and
believe.
you have a belief system.
Alan, can I ask you, if
We
you're
believe reality is real.
in one sec, if you're questioning what we see and whether it's tangible and real or not compared to what we believe we see, why is the same not applied to Tim Osmond's picture when Tim claims that we're at the bottom of the buildings?
Yeah, let's talk about that, Tony. Do you accept mirages are real?
We're not seeing a mirage, though, are we?
No, but do you accept that they're real in photos?
Mirages are not real. They're intangible manifestations of some kind, aren't they?
Do they need an explanation?
Pardon?
Do they need an explanation?
Yeah, of course they do.
No. There you
Sorry,
go.
that's a phenomena. That's the point. So you're now describing a phenomena and asking whether a phenomena needs explanation. The lighthouse is not a phenomena. It's a concrete noun. Not a phenomena. You as a globehead must turn this into a phenomena, even though it's just a lighthouse we can just see. You must do that. That's because you've got a belief in art.
Yeah, you don't trust your eyes.
So you can't. So
You
you
only look through your mind because your mind allows you to see your model while reality does not.
Alan, what evidence have you got that makes you question the concrete nounness of that particular lighthouse? Why might you not think that it's a real thing that you can see?
because he has to believe that he's seeing it. Therefore, a belief system.
Sorry, I'm not believing I'm seeing it. I am seeing it. I am actually seeing it. I'm not believing that I'm seeing it. You believe you're seeing Earth curve obscuring it and a slightly looming non-standard refraction coming back from beyond that Earth curve. That's what you believe. Totally patently absurd, but that's what you believe. And when I say I just see it, you ask me whether or not I actually see it or not, and get me to question something in a photograph, because you have a belief, not me.
Oh, sorry, I win.
No, you haven't answered my question.
All right, declaring victory will get you kicked out. Goodbye, Alan. No, you have not won. You have a religitard belief. So declaring victory after you've had your ass handed to you on about a dozen occasions doesn't get you staying here. It gets you kicked out. No, you did not win. How dare you, disingenuous little prick. Get out.
Oh.
Alan B disbelieves sight. Not eyes, not cameras, just sight in general.
I find it interesting that he'll question the nature of the lighthouse, but he'll not question whether or not that squashing that we see in Tim's picture and the obstruction that looks like a mirage in his picture. Why doesn't he question that? That's exactly what we're questioning. We're saying we see stuff that's clearly optical. Cause we don't know, but it's clear that it's definitely something optical because we know that the buildings don't squash from the bottom up. But he doesn't question it with Tim. He only questions it with us.
That went on far too long.
It's interesting
3
dynamics.
times, that's it, you know.
It's unreal that we have to have this type of conversation with grown-ups.
Round and round and round we go.
Can I throw a spanner in the works here, gentlemen?
That's a terrible
There's
echo
a
you've
lot of
got going
echo.
on there, Mark.
Mark Doxy, are you in space?
So, hang on, the kids have been playing with it. Can you hear me okay, John? Hang on. There we go. Can I throw a spanner in the works here, gentlemen?
You can do whatever you like, Mark.
The aerification fallacy. If we depend on a photograph as evidence, is that the aerification fallacy?
No,
Not if
it's
I've
relying
seen
on
it.
a concept.
I've been and seen it.
They're treating it as though it's real world.
Yeah, I've been and seen it.
Oh yeah. If you've personally seen it, then you're not depending on a photograph. If you depend on a photograph
Hey, Adam.
as evidence,
How you doing?
No, a photograph is not a concept.
Adam.
It's evidence, isn't it? It's something real.
Chocolate.
well, this is what happened to me the other day. The police were stopping people, breathalyzing them just as a random drink driving thing. On my license, I have a picture of myself without a beard, but I wear a beard at the moment. And when he asked for ID, I gave him my license without a beard. And he looks at the license and he says, "Is this you?" And he's pointing to the plastic picture of me, and he says, "Is this you?" Well, I'm not a piece of plastic.
You should have answered, "No, that's my grandmother."
Yeah, well, is this police officer depending on the aerification
Reification. Begins with re.
Reification. Okay, reification. I mean, I'm not the piece of plastic, and neither is that picture of the lighthouse a photograph. You've got to go and personally experience it before you can say, yes, that's absolutely true.
Well, that's not necessarily true, because if you have a woman, or what looks like to be a woman in a swimming pool from a distance with bikini on and boobs sticking out, how can you verify that that's actually female until you take further precautions?
That's his point. That's his point. That's the point. That's the point Mark's just made.
No, he said the opposite. He said you wouldn't know
he's
that
making the
it was
same
real
point.
lighthouse until
He's
you've
saying unless
seen
you
it.
can go and validate it, then you're just reifying it if you're only using a photo.
We can't trust photographs. We call NASA out as frauds because they present photographs, but we know that they're CGI.
The difference is that any average Joe can go to this lighthouse, can go to Australia, can go to Puerto Rico and verify it's a real thing.
Yes.
It's a real thing and it's true.
Exactly,
But
Jose,
yes.
for
exactly.
other planets and seeing balls like millions of miles away, none of us can do it. Nobody, just a handful of chosen people by the elites, you know.
Now
That's the difference.
you need to then contact the astronomers to show you this special setup telescope where you can look on close up on other planets. And
Well, I'm just
special
saying that
telescopes.
presenting a photograph in today's world is shaky evidence. You've got to go and personally experience it.
No, I don't agree. If you go and personally experience something, you can make mistakes. If we both witnessed a bank robbery, you can say that there were 4 people there, and I say no, there was 5.
Well, 4 and 5 is not a contradiction, because there are 4 people, even if there's 5 people there. There are 4 people as well.
The point is that we can perceive things differently, even though we see the same event.
Yeah, but you may know the names of 4 people of those 5 and say there were 4 people there, but there is also a 5th one.
Riley, you're wrong. No, if you're going to be at the same event, you might pay attention to different elements of that event and focus on them, but they're all going to be watching part of the event. So
Anyway,
are you saying that a photo is or is not credible evidence in terms of making decisions on the shape of the Earth?
well, I can manipulate a photograph to make it appear as a lie. Well, I can tell a lie with a photograph.
Not unless you're deceitful.
Absolutely, yeah. Unless you do, but to convince somebody, they've got to personally experience it.
What about the videos? I don't see how you can fake those pretty easily. Like Ranty does it every day.
Listen, I'm not questioning Ranty.
Yeah, hell no, we're not questioning Ranty. I mean, come on.
Well, hang on. That lighthouse came from a video.
Yeah, that's fine. Look, I'm on your side, but when we're talking to somebody who's a globe earther, they can claim a fake or fraud like we do.
Well, they can.
So we can tell them this is the coordinates, this is the place it was taken, this is the temperature. You can go anytime you want. It's free. Yeah. It's an open place, public. Now, if they say, "Oh, I got this picture of a Himawari satellite taken every 10 minutes. Oh yeah, when can I go there? Or who can go there? You know, can you take me? Can you invite me there? Right?"
My question was, are we committing the reification fallacy if we depend on a photograph as evidence?
No, I would say that I'm not convinced that you understand what the reification fallacy is. It's where you take a concept or a drawing or something that's not actually real, like the lighthouse, and claim that it is real and treat it as real. So an orthographic drawing would be a reification fallacy if you were claiming that this is how we see the world. Well, it isn't how we see the world. The way we see the world is through eyeballs, and it should be taken from the eyeball perspective, because that would then be the way we see the world. So the reification fallacy
is as in like the body of science, right?
Well, no, can I give a direct example, Mark? So a reification fallacy would be to say we don't really see the lighthouse because Earth curves obscuring the view, and it's then having the light bend around the curve of the Earth that we don't see to make it appear again in our line of sight in the photograph. Well, that is a reification fallacy. That's using a model to say that we don't really see something we do see because of the model getting in the way and light bending around at the presupposed radius of that model, 7/6 of it. You know, that's a reification fallacy. because the picture's just a picture.
So I'm using a map. Is that a reification fallacy?
Definitely. If you claim that the map is your reality, the map is not the terrain. So if you start pointing at the map like the policeman pointed at your picture and saying, this is where we are, no, you're not. You're standing on terra firma. The map is not the terrain. The model is not the world. That is, in essence, the definition of a reification fallacy.
A map is not the territory it represents, but if correct, it has similar structure to the territory, which accounts for its usefulness.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not. The map is made of paper. The terrain is made of soil and water and atmosphere and multitude of other things that aren't paper.
I said it's not the territory it represents, but if it's correct, then it's useful. So
yeah.
If the model is correct, then it's useful.
Yeah, P, but that would be useful to get where you're going. That's not useful to prove the shape of the Earth. It is just a piece of paper.
What's the difference?
The difference is if you start claiming that the equator is a real thing when it's not. It's an arbitrary point on a map. There's no line drawn around a circumference of an Earth that's been presupposed by globe heads. To say that there is to reify a concept. The concept of an equator, which we definitely don't have. There is no mark that you can go to. There's no real place called the equator. To say that there is to reify something in a model.
Yeah, the equator is a concept.
Precisely. Earth curves blocking our view of a lighthouse, also a concept. It looming, also a concept. To say it is doing those things is to reify your model. I want to give a massive shout out to everyone who's in chat. So this is, as everyone on the panel is probably well aware, the second channel. 174 people watching on the second channel. That's absolutely awesome. Also, huge shout out if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley channel and you're one of the 9,000 subscribers. Thank you very, very much for subscribing. And I'm pretty certain that by the end of today, the second channel, which is called Nathan Oakley, will hit 2,000 subscribers, both in the same day. So I'm pretty made up today, in a very good mood. Thank you very much for everyone who subscribed. And if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980 and you're unaware that the show streams live on Nathan Oakley, there's a link in the info box below the video. So go and subscribe to Nathan Oakley if you want to participate or watch the show live.
It's over 9,000!
Yay! Shout out to Hyena for today's thumbnail. Me as the Punisher with a slightly wonky head.
You know, I told Hyena to make a meme for you. He didn't use the picture that I gave him, but that's where the picture you got came from.
Oh, cool.
So definite shout out to Hyena.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Just to let you know, Mark, you're playing a really high-pitched squeal noise, and it's cutting everybody's mic out because you're louder than everybody else, and you're not even speaking.
Yeah, I'm mute now. Is that okay?
Yeah, when you're not speaking, just mute.
We're going to have a short 10-minute break in about 5 minutes or so, just so you're aware.
Let's just remind people the reification fallacy. It's treating a concept or an abstract thought or representation as real world. If it's an abstract thought or a concept and you're treating it as though it's the real world, like gravity perhaps, we all understand what gravity is.
Yeah, you threw that one in, didn't you?
Sorry, not aimed at you, but it's a good example. We all know what it is, but is it real world? That's the question, and obviously the answer is, well, it's highly debatable.
So when the police officer asked me, is this you? And he's looking at a piece of plastic, is he using a reification fallacy?
Yeah, he's using a concept of a driving license as a representation of you, and really the answer to your question is no, you are you.
It gets worse. So you go and ask a free man the same question, and he'll say that in his logic and his overall demeanour towards the world and the people he deals with, he reifies them as non-people in the first instance anyway. So in the most truest sense of the word, he looks at you, instead of using the word photograph, use like a concept like barcode you know, a number, and that's what he's asking. Are you this number? Because you're not a real person, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I point to myself and says, no, that this is me. No, I wouldn't dare say that to them.
Yeah, they don't like people that have flippant review comments that because they can't understand that it's not actually flippancy. It's actually, well, this is me. You're looking at him. The mushy stuff's not in the seat.
Yeah.
I've had a delivery today. Our dishwasher drains into the same sink hole that the sink drains off into, and over time they get clogged up and blocked because of basically it's quite a long runoff before it reaches the main drain. So the fats and the juices from the dishwasher solidify over time in the pipe, and periodically you got to drain it out and clean it out with a drain cleaner. Anyway, I tried to drain clean it, didn't fix it, so I had to get one of those rods. It's just been delivered, and I've just felt all manly because I've managed to clean my kitchen drain. Yay!
I'm so glad I told you that we were going to round out the show soon, because that's just the kind of cliffhanger you need to entice an audience to the next show.
I thought it was going to be a flat Earth proof he was going to come out with the drains, but
no. Yeah, it swirled the opposite way around. It didn't do it.
Oh, you're going to link it to Coriolis just to save yourself.
Yeah, I could do. Have you rounded out, or are we still on?
No, not yet. I was hoping for a better point. I'll hold out hope.
No, I was just feeling manly because I don't block my drain. But I'll just say that it swirled the opposite way to the Coriolis force, so we can't be living on a ball, right? I haven't got any evidence to support my position, though.
You got a photograph?
I'll draw it on a piece of paper.
That'll do.
Draw it with an orthographic view and a single cropped image from about 10 different cameras that you've taken up to a particular location, and that'll serve as absolute proof, I would say.
But I'll put a smudge on it as well for Alan.
Perfect.
Hey, Adam.
Is this a euphemism for you hooking up with some flat earther's wife?
Yeah. Adam, I've got some really cool tech to see. Pete, do you actually want to stay in this hangout, or do you just want to get kicked for being a dick?
Oh, is this an honest question? You really cleaned a drain? I thought you were being, you know.
No, even if it is an honest question, what makes you think that I would even venture to tell you anything about anything not flat Earth related? What makes you think that I would talk?
As these guys discuss a very non-related personal issue, I will say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you're watching this on Nathan Oakley channel and the premiere of this debate, then be sure to subscribe to Nathan Oakley channel, which is the channel this debate was actually streamed live on. So hit the link in the info box to go to Nathan Oakley channel and hit the subscribe button there. Also, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!